r/AskReddit created by routinereddit. Redditors, what's the worst thing you've eaten out of politeness? Girlfriend in college wanted to be nice to my roommate and I because she often ate over at our apartment, so she was to cook dinner one night. Teriyaki steak. Somewhere along the line, she got TBSP and cup mixed up and added 3/4 cup of salt. Pretty sure we were nearing the LD50 of salt for a human, but I ate as much as I could and drank as much water as I could for the next few days. At some point you have to start to think and be like, is it really correct for me to pour a 3/4 cup of salt into that dish? Jesus, you would think. But one time my old man made a German chocolate cake and I guess instead of 3/4 cups vegetable oil, he used 3 cups. It was an abomination. Edit. Since this seems to be getting some traction, I'll share another of my dad's poor life choices. He had a gallon of milk in the fridge 2 weeks past sell by date. I warned him, but he insisted that it would still be fine as it hadn't been opened yet. Yeah, you can see where this is going. Without checking it or smelling it, he chugged a massive amount for about 6 seconds before getting a look of absolute shock on his face. He then proceeded to run outside and puke up his tasty beverage. On the bright side, it was already chunky going down. Yeah, he wasn't the brightest person. 3 or 4 cups. Better play it safe. There was nothing wrong with that food. The salt level was 10% less than a lethal dose. Oh no, I shouldn't have gone back 4 seconds. Needs the essence of pure flavor. When my sister was 5, she had my mom, friend and I sit for her tea party. She made us drinks. I asked her what she gave us, and she said it was water and sparkle perfume. That sounds poisonous. My little sister made me puke once because she made me tea and, like a good brother, I downed the tiny teacup full in one drink. It was hand sanitizer mixed with water. Was it good though? Not sure what water she put in there. It was like drinking rubbing alcohol. But we let her have her moment. Yum rubbing all chuttle. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe for daily Reddit videos. Was working in China. They had a big celebratory banquet for us. They served a local delicacy, sea worms. It was a white tube that when immersed in near freezing water essentially dissolved into a gelatinous lump. Think fish flavored jello, with just a hint of residual gristle. Had to eat several servings, while downing shots of mayote. Alcohol makes anything better. I disagree. I was in Bhutan where the hotel owner's family invited us for egg cooked in homemade rice alcohol. Error. It was supposed to add a kick to the alcohol. It was a brackish looking viscous liquid with an eggy smell. I hated it when I looked at it, and then again when I sipped it. To make matters worse, my girlfriend decided she cannot have more than a spoonful. So, I had to finish 2 large bowls of the terrible thing all by itself. Some chips on the side would have helped, to make sure it doesn't look impolite and rude. Now, I love emadachi and kivadachi and other Bhutanese food. But not this stuff. No, you had the occasion to say, but not that stuff and you didn't. I never fail to disappoint. Husband's mom made a lemon pie, but it was a special recipe she learned from her friend, where there was no sugar and the crust was made of saltine crackers. Don't even have words for how sour and salty it was. But you best believe I ate it as it was delicious. I drank a crap ton of water to offset lol. My granddad had esophageal cancer and couldn't eat foods thicker than a watery milkshake. He took up cooking as a hobby, but of course he couldn't test most things. He made this hot pot concoction thing, and it was so salty, it was like eating hot ocean. Nobody had the heart to say, so we just ate it. LMAO Hot Ocean. Dibs on the band name. Sound like a band that sings about global warming. Was visiting Guatemala, and this old lady invited us to dinner. In this country, it's extremely rude to not eat what was placed before you. Unfortunately, this lady served us a vegetable soup with some meat in it that tasted like chicken broth from heck. She didn't eat with us, as she was being polite or something. She didn't even talk to us during the dinner. We took a taste and nearly wanted to puke. However, due to the country customs, we decided to eat it. We barely could get through it. We ate about 3/4 of it and then mentioned we were just full. We both retched later on that night. It was so nasty. Ran into the lady later in the week walking down the street and she apologized to us. Apparently the chicken was rotten. and she only took one bite. She then chastised us for not telling her. Sometimes it's frustrating not knowing all the ins and outs of different customs. It's really hard when you don't know what a dish is supposed to taste like. A ton of things are acquired taste and may be disgusting for people who aren't used to it, and you can't necessarily tell the difference between rotten and just awful tasting. Though I think she should have sampled it while cooking since she was planning to serve it to guests. I mean, who doesn't taste their own cooking to see if it turns out right? Who rotten chicken blend? A girl I dated was trying to impress me, so she tried to make green curry. She added too much curry paste and we both sat there sweating and crying. At least she ate it too, haha. I eat spicy food, but curry paste is extremely concentrated. This dish was comically spicy mayo, like inedible levels. We should have stopped tbh mayo. Was she open about its flavor or pretending like she didn't mess up horribly? If they both sat there quietly sweating, crying, and eating, then you know she was pretending. So, coughing violently, movies next time. Tears flowing. I really wanna see that Spider-Man movie. I nearly killed my ex with a curry once. I'm English, so of course my favorite food is curry, and my family is from Trinidad, home of the world's hottest peppers. My granddad was actually a chili farmer, and as a young child I lived in Thailand, where the food is super spicy, so I have a very high tolerance to chili. My ex came from a family that didn't add seasoning to anything. The first time I went for dinner at her parents' house I was served unseasoned, poorly cooked steak, boiled, unsalted potatoes and unseasoned microwaved broad beans. Her signature dish was a pot of pasta, a can of tomatoes, and a can of tuna mixed together with nothing else. Anyway, I had bought a batch of chilies from the market that I hadn't tried before and didn't sample a bit to check their hotness before adding half a dozen to the pot. I can't remember exactly what they were, but they were much hotter than I expected. The resulting curry was too hot even for me to finish, and she managed half a mouthful before her head caught fire. My ex-sister-in-law's spinach casserole. My daughter puked it up into the heat vent, and I had to clean it out. Mayo, I just laughed out loud. Out of all places it landed in the heat vent. I bet the smell was amazing. The vent was also full of dog hair. That sounds so nasty to clean up. I would have thrown up cleaning it up. My husband's grandma made us a miso soup that was almost black from teriyaki and soy sauce in it. All of the vegetables in it were slimy and overcooked. It so barely resembled miso that the next day I made some regular miso for myself, and she was offended that I didn't eat the perfectly good leftovers. I was all confused until my husband whispered to me that she thought the abomination she served us was miso soup. Teriyaki sauce in miso soup. Teriyaki sauce in miso soup. Have you ever made her some nice French onion soup with a dollop of mayo? Because mayonnaise is clearly French and therefore is a good addition. Good analogy lol. That must have been so salty. I had a migraine later that night lol. She also used Chinese soy sauce instead of kikoman, so it was extra awful. Who she should called it ocean soup. Hot ocean soup. New album out now. I came home from school one day and was hungry and told my mother that, and she told me there was blueberry muffins. So I took one, and when I took a bite it was the driest, most flavorless thing I've ever eaten. So as to not upset my mother I ate it, and when I came back my mom was laughing, and I asked what was funny, and she told me they were a friend of hers muffins and my brother had spit them out when he tried it. So basically I got pranked by my mom. Your mom is amazing. I thought this was going a different route and the blueberries was actually blue mold. Oh man, a friend of mine did this. Ate a blueberry muffin in the dark kitchen when he was drunk, and when he looked in the AM the rest were covered in mold. I would have instantly thrown up for a straight hour or so. I know this horror as well. Bought a packaged blueberry muffin from the little coffee place in my office building on the way into work one morning. Took a bite at my desk and almost heaved right there. I barely made it to the bathroom. Let's just say my first hour of the day was not a productive one. Years before I could think about eating anything blueberry again.